Hey everybody, welcome to episode 50. We made it to 50.
Woo! Wow.
Yeah.
This is a special episode.
Special. It's pretty much like all the rest of them, but special. I'm Bob Clagett, and this is Jimmy Diresta.
Hello.
And David Picciuto.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great. This is Making It, in case you didn't know what you were listening to. And we're here with episode 50, so hopefully we'll make this one special somehow. I don't know. What's up?
We will.
What's up with you guys?
Special. Oh, man. So, can I go ahead and just start talking about what I'm working on?
I hope you would. And I hope you explain the big gash on your forehead.
Yeah. So, there's this heater vent in our basement, and we're doing all these basement renovations, and I've hit my head on it 3 times now. Obviously, I don't learn my lesson. So, but as we talked about last week, the waterproofers came in, did their thing, and then while all the stuff was moved away from the walls, last weekend I spent the entire weekend painting the walls with basement waterproofing paint, and then I decided to build 2 rooms. Basically, the basement's just a big open space with stairs in the middle and a furnace and a water heater in the middle. And so we kind of blanketed off one room to use as the band room, or one side to use as the band room, and then there's the laundry side near the band room. Decided to actually do it right. So built walls to section off the band room. So built 2 walls there, and then built a wall, like a T, from there to section off the laundry room. And all the walls are up. I have to thank 2 people that made this possible, and it's because of this podcast. So Brian Prusa, hopefully I'm saying his last name right, he lives 2.5 hours away in Columbus, and said, hey, I'll come help you do the walls. I've never done it before. Yeah. So he drove. Wow. Yeah, he drove all the way up here. He showed me how to do it. And another listener contacted me as soon as our episode aired last week. And his name is Jamie Chafflin, and he's here in Toledo. He said, you can borrow my framing nailer and my hammer drill. And so thanks to these 2 awesome people that amazing. Don't even know, made this possible. So Brian and I spent all day building 2 walls, and then today, by myself, I built 2 more walls, and now I know how to do it. It's fairly easy.
Are you filming it?
I did film a little bit, bits and pieces of it.
Cool.
I'm not sure if I'm going to do like a how-to make a wall, or just kind of like an overview of what I'm doing in my shop. I haven't decided yet.
So what was the experience? Like last week we talked about this, and you weren't sure what was going to go into it. What was your experience doing it?
I just getting over the fear of never doing it before.
Yeah.
So once Brian was like, "This is all you do. I mean, you're nailing 2x4s together. You build the wall on the floor. You lift it up. You drill into the floor, tap con screws, and nail or screw it into the ceiling. You're good to go." There's a couple obstacles we had to work around. He taught me some tricks on some measuring, and so I came away with, I could do this again by myself without a problem.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah. So that's been that's been my entire week. Tomorrow I hope to hang drywall and then to hang 2 new doors. So I did have old doors from the house they're just up in the garage attic. And I was just going to hang those, and Brian told me all the pitfalls I may run into of hanging these doors. And so he talked me into buying pre-hung doors, which I can already tell it's going to be so much easier. So I'm glad I spent the money on pre-hung doors.
Yeah, that's a good call.
But my basement I'm so excited because my shop feels like a shop now. It doesn't just feel like a basement. I knocked down, there was a storage room on the shop side, so I knocked that down and I gained that room. I think we talked about that last week, and it's so cool. It feels.
Is
like
it going to look different now on camera? Or are you going to keep it the same?
Most of it will look the same. Some things will look a little bit different. You won't see the clutterness. I know you like clutter, Jimmy, but you won't see any clutteredness.
I feel insecure without it.
So you won't see the laundry room when I do the table saw shots. You'll see a wall, and you'll see tools hanging on that wall. So it's going to feel more like a shop and less like a basement, I think, in the videos.
Awesome. So what about the drywall? Have you done drywall before?
I have not. I watched a couple videos on YouTube, and it seems pretty darn straightforward.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah, hanging it is super easy. The finishing can be tedious, but a tip that I found, I don't know, several years ago is to, once you get the first coat of mud up, don't take a sanding block to it. Take a wet sponge. Take a grout sponge that has one rough side and then one soft side. Dip it in water, get it a little bit wet but not soaked, and then use that to feather the first couple layers of your stuff. Because then you have no dust. The water, it's water soluble, so it will smooth itself out way easier and way cleaner than than using a sanding block. Eventually, you'll have to sand it, but on those first couple coats, when you want to just fill the gap, you want to get that first stripe down, use a sponge.
Good tip.
Yeah.
So once again, if I could really just quickly thank Brian and Jamie for making my life so much easier. Thanks, guys.
That's super cool. I had a busy week. On Instagram, some of you might have noticed that I had a class of people here from Mexico. I wrote this down so I don't forget. Monterrey Tech from Mexico City. They have a long name in Spanish, but I'm shortening it to Monterrey Tech from Mexico City. During the summer, Alvaro is their instructor, came and visited me. We emailed back and forth. And it's a funny thing, when I email with people, I instantly forget. So as soon as we email back and forth, I hit send, and like something happens in my brain, and it just goes bing, and the memory of it just goes away. And then, so one day I was in my shop, and I turn around, and this young man, there's Alvaro. He goes, "Hey, what's up?" I go, "Oh, hey, what's up, man?" He goes, "We emailed." And I said, "We did." And then he reminded me. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, we emailed. He was supposed to be here today." "Oh, that's right." And I'm just laughing because at dinner last night when I saw him most recently, I said, "What happened when you came to my shop in the summer? Did you just walk in?" He goes, No, we emailed and you forgot then and you forgot again." So I'm sorry. But so Alvaro came, he visited me that day, and he said, he loves my videos and he shows them to his students. It was nice to hear that. And he said, "I've been thinking, and I'm going to ask you an idea. Can I bring my students here? I'll go back and I'll talk and I'll figure out if I can get enough interest from my instructors and his bosses and whatever." And so we emailed back and forth. And so like in June or July, we figured it out and we set the date for December. And now all of a sudden I completely forgot about it. It's December. And then it was like, in 2 days from now, I'm having 7 people from Mexico come and hang out in my shop for 3 days. And it worked out perfect. We did package design, lamp design. I basically gave them my class curriculum, and I said, "Go through my class curriculum and pick anything that you want to do." And so they went through the class curriculum and picked a few things. And at first it was like a little weird because they're new kids and new kids in my shop, which is kind of small. But we fast became friends and we had a lot of laughs. David filmed most of it, so we'll get to look at that. So I did that, and then I went upstate for the weekend, and when I got back, they were still here, so we had dinner last night, and I got to say goodbye to them one more time, and I'm sure I'm going to be going there. So it was a really fun, successful time. And that was a kind of a dry run for my makerspace idea, where I'm going to have people come up, and I'm going to teach them, outside of a traditional classroom environment.
Awesome.
So that went really well, so I'm really happy about that. And today, if some of you guys have seen my video where I made this holiday bunker for Lagavulin, today we had to bring that uptown, Dave and I Snapchatted it, so some people might have watched that. Dave and I brought that uptown, set it up in the Diageo office, and then I hung around and did like a little meet and greet, and it was fun. So more of these corporate people are starting to watch the videos that I'm doing, so that means more money down the road, so I'm excited about that. And that's funny, that brings up something. Somebody wrote under the Lagavulin thing and said, "Jimmy, don't sell out," and I wrote underneath it, "I sell out for a living." And I got a lot of people. That's awesome. I got a lot of people defending me. They're like, "Hey, he's a professional. This is what he does for a living. He makes things for people that need things to be made. If it happens to be a corporation that has money, why is that selling out?" So I thank those few fans that defended me. So awesome. That was fun. Yeah, so that was fun. So I had a busy week that went well, and I know we're going to talk a little bit about it later, but when things go well, it just makes you feel really good about the choices you make. So
awesome. Good.
Yeah, so that was good.
Yeah, definitely. For me, it's been kind of a strange schedule week. My wife was out of town for part of the weekend and Monday, and so I switched my Monday to Saturday, so I ended up working like a full day on Saturday, which was just strange for a weekend for me. And then, I was like single dad for the rest of the weekend, which is fun and tiring and stuff. But so my schedule's just been a little wacky. But I've been working on making a couple Maker 101 videos right now about Arduino programming. So doing that's been a lot of like scripting, which I don't typically do, but I want to make sure that I get them right, cover the good basis, and make sure that they're, consumable for people who don't have any experience there. So that's been something kind of new to write out more detailed outlines about what I'm going to say and what I'm trying to get across, and then film it, watch it, make sure that I'm saying the right things, and go back and film things again because I said them backwards and, stuff like that. So I've been working on those, and then I got a photo of the artwork for the arcade from the printer. It's like printed now, and he sent me a picture of it. It looks amazing.
Is it a big decal? That's what it's going to be?
Yeah, vinyl on the sides, these just full vinyl wraps for the sides, and then like polycarbonate for the control surface, which is like the thicker stuff that is on those machines. And then they're printing the marquee on, I sent them 2 pieces of Lexan. They're printing the marquee and then backing it with white so it can be backlit.
Oh, wow.
And
that's going to look great.
It looks so good. I cannot wait to show everybody. So the machine hasn't changed positions since last week. It's still been there and in the way. And I haven't been able to build the paint booth that I need to build because of my schedule changes. So hopefully next week I'll be able to get it painted, because I think the artwork is actually going to be shipped out to me on Friday. So that's exciting, because that's like the next big hurdle. Once I get that, then there's nothing left in my way to finish the machine other than time. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
How do you put down a big decal like that?
We'll find out. I mean, you lay it in place, and then you, like from the center, you flip half of it over, peel from the center, lay half of it down. Yeah, and then lay it half down, and then do the other half. So
right on.
It should be interesting. I've never done something that big, so I'm sure there'll be some, nerves about it and trial and error and stuff. But I do have a couple squeegees, so.
And you have some bleed? You got some bleed, so is it going to go down and then you're going to trim it, or is it going to has to land right where it lands?
No, it's got I think a 1.5 inch bleed all the way around. Right. So that's good. And then, so the edges are wrapped in that kind of rubbery stuff that arcade machines have, that trim.
On the edge.
Yeah, and so that's going to overlap where the vinyl wraps around those corners. So I think it'll work out pretty well, but will be some trial and error because it's a huge piece of vinyl and I've never done something that big. So
that's so cool.
Yeah.
I know I'm asking a lot of dumb questions about this. Do they print? Is it like a 4-color print on that, or is it screened? How do they do that?
Yeah, it's a 4-color print. It's this gigantic, like 8-foot wide printer, and like the roll of paper or vinyl is 8 feet wide, and it's endless. So they can print 8 feet by like 200 feet long.
So that's how they wrap a bus, for instance. With
yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's what this company does.
It's a web feed, is what I think it's called. Anything on a roll like that.
Interesting. So yeah, I can't wait to show it off. It's going to be really exciting. And people keep asking me in the comments, like every day, where is it? Why is there no video? And I'm like, it's coming. I promise it's coming.
You get a couple videos out of this? You're going to get a couple, right?
Oh yeah. I'm thinking at least 3, maybe 4 out of it. But and those are in progress.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that I can get them all done. I'm building plans, my first set of real plans to sell for it, and trying to do a really good job on those so that they're worthwhile for people to buy if they want them. So there's just a lot of moving pieces to it at this point, but eventually it's going to be done.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So, and we have as soon as our Christmas tree is gone in our living room, it's got a home to go in. So excited about that. So anyway, this week we got a couple small topics I think we could jump to. People send us stuff on Twitter, and so we'll try them out, see where we go. Somebody was asking, and I don't remember who asked this, so I apologize. They were asking how YouTube Red was going, and like what the status is for that. Do you guys have any thoughts on like now that it's been going for a month or so? I don't know exactly how long it's been going.
I think it's still a little young to have an opinion on it as far as from a creator standpoint, because it's like 2% of my earnings right now, and I don't think it's a 2% gain. I think that is 2% of people that probably were seeing the ads before. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, I agree. It's just people that have now replaced one thing with something else.
Yeah, but I do like the YouTube Red service for getting You do get Google Play out of it, but I really haven't used that. But I like the ad-free experience. I like knowing that my money is going to creators.
Yeah. Oh, you actually bought it? You bought in?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, I didn't buy in. Bob, did you buy in?
Oh, yeah. First day I could, man. And honestly, I'm still, every single time I watch a video, I'm still surprised that there's no pre-rolled ad. And I always go, oh, cool. That's awesome. You know,
I'm going to sound like an idiot, but I didn't even occur to me to join because I actually like the ads sometimes because I actually am introduced when they do local, like a lot of times the ads are very regional and it's about, I guess there's some formula and it's like, oh, you know, somewhere right here is this machining company that does this machining thing. I stop and I watch the 3-minute ad. I know I'm insane.
Well, I'm
the guy that watches the ad, the only one.
They do try to personalize the ads for you based on what you watched before. So they try to find ads that are relevant for you that you would watch.
And you know, another funny thing is I haven't been to the movies. Taylor and I just never go to the movies. And every time we click a movie up on Netflix, we fall asleep halfway through it. we like watching bits and pieces of Cops on YouTube. Like that's our our movie experience. And so the way I get my movie infotainment is the pre-roll ads. When there's like a new, like when they start running like the Star Wars pre-roll ads, that's going to be my version of Star Wars. I'm going to watch that, and that's going to be like, okay, now I saw Star Wars. So, when they run ads for movies, I stop and I watch. I'm like, oh, there's a new De Niro movie. And I watch it, and I'm like, okay, I just saw that De Niro movie. It was like a 3-minute ad for the movie, and that's it. I don't need to go to the movie theater.
Huh. Yeah, you have a really different idea of what ads are than... Like...
Yeah, there's no reason for you to buy YouTube Red, Jimmy.
Yeah.
No, because I'll be watching with Taylor, and she'll go to click the ad, and I'm like, no, I want to watch. It's almost over.
It's only got 30 minutes left. Let it go.
No, so sometimes like these, there's like a couple of, I don't know, I can't remember them, so the ads aren't doing a great impression, but there's a couple of companies that pop up that do this sort of like CNC manufacturing. So I always watch those ads all the way through because to me it's like watching another YouTube video. It's like something I would watch anyway. So I kind of I don't mind them. I just click past them. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk a little bit about like too much is too much in general. But there's just so much anyway. It's like you can't get away from it. You go to the bathroom, you stand at the urinal, you're reading an ad, you turn around, there's an ad on the back of the door. You walk outside, there's an ad on the back of the menu. It's like it's everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't get away from it. And so and then you stand outside and the bus drives by and it's a huge sticker ad for something.
Or you sit next to somebody on the bus and he's wearing a Nike shirt. That's basically an ad too. So it's everywhere.
Or a Diresta shirt.
Shirt.
Yeah, I mean, there's like... You're next to Paul Matt on the bus and he's wearing a Diresta shirt.
There's like, ad blindness that people talk about where you're just oversaturated and you don't see them anymore. And I think that's why a lot of people don't sign up for YouTube Red, I think, because it's like, I don't pay attention to them anyway. So... what's the big deal? And for me, I mean, I would be fine if it didn't exist and I didn't pay for it. But now that I've had it and like I said, I can get right to the videos as soon as I click on them, it still catches me off guard. And I still go, oh, that's nice. And I can get right to what I want to see and not have to like wait those 5 seconds and through. But as far as, so from a consumer point, like I really like it, but I'm with you, David. Like as a creator, I'm at like 2.8% of my YouTube earnings are because of that. And so that hasn't done anything really significant.
I don't know what fancy magic you guys did, but mine is small too. I don't know how to get to the exact percentage number, but my, like compared to a couple $1,000s for the month, my YouTube Red revenue is like a couple $100.
Yeah. I think that's pretty standard, I would imagine. And, it'll probably grow over time, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, so people keep asking me, and I don't even pay any attention to it at all. It didn't even, there hasn't been any big ceremonious change.
And they haven't really pushed it. I haven't seen a whole lot about it.
I think what's going to happen is there's going to be produced shows that are YouTube Red only. There's possibilities of, just videos that only are for Red subscribers. And I think...
Yeah, then in that case, obviously, I'll probably be forced to make the change. But until then...
You think they'll probably start doing a media push at that point when that stuff's available?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, it seems to make sense because when you consider what Netflix is doing and everybody else in Hulu and everybody, like now I live in Manhattan, of course, and when you look up, you see 50 billboards in any direction, and there's certain parts of the city that are just sort of saturated with billboards. And I was kind of in this one little section of town just a couple of days ago, and I looked up and I saw an ad for like 6 different exclusive TV shows on like Amazon, Hulu Plus, Netflix, or so how everybody's got their exclusive channel or their exclusive TV shows, and it's working because people are soaking up these TV shows. And so I just thought it was funny. I'm like, wow, it's all about exclusive content now. And there's no doubt that YouTube is going in that direction. I mean, of course, everybody is. I mean, we all are. Everybody, as creators, we're making our own exclusive content for other clients. And there's no doubt that YouTube is going to also have exclusive TV series and movies and such and such.
That's an interesting transition into the next thing we were going to talk about, because, if you're going to buy... And we talked about this, I think, at first. If you're going to buy Netflix and you're going to buy Hulu and you're going to buy, whatever, Spotify and all these different things, it's going to end up being the same cost as what you would pay for cable or, whatever. And so somebody was asking a couple weeks ago on Twitter about, like, as far as YouTube subscriptions, when is too much too much? Like, when do you have so many subscriptions that it's not worthwhile to have them because you can't watch them all? And it kind of goes the same way with all these services, If you pay for all of those, and HBO and Amazon and this and that, like, at what point is it too much? You guys have any thoughts on that?
Well, I don't mind paying for all these different things because it's more of like, it's a pick and choose kind of thing. If you just paid for HBO, for instance, or rather for Cablevision, you just stuck with those channels. And now with all these different choices, you have different ways of getting this different media. So like if I was paying like over $200 and something a month for internet and Cablevision, including Netflix and including Hulu Plus. So now I got rid of all my Cablevision stuff. So now I just pay for Netflix and Hulu, which is like, I don't know, $10 and $7 a month, something like that. And it's there when I need it. It's there when I want to, I'm a big fan of Saturday Night Live. So it's there when I want to go and check out the Saturday Night Live that just aired rather this past couple days. So it's there when I need it. It's there like South Park. So when I go and find South Park. So I like knowing that it's there when I need it, but I don't watch it regularly. So
here's what I've been noticing. So in our house, we buy Netflix, Hulu, HBO. I also get the MLB package every year. And then we also have Amazon Prime. And so all those are their own shows. We also have the new Apple TV. And it doesn't matter if it's Apple TV or the Roku or whatever you have. But the apps or whatever the Amazon one is called, Fire. And I've noticed there's a lot of apps for these devices. And it's like History Channel, the Sci-Fi Channel. And each one of those channels are trying to sell their service for $10 a month. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it is starting to become an overload. Not every channel can sell their service for $10 a month. I have no. It's too much input.
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, that kind of goes to like the actual question that this guy submitted about YouTube subscriptions. Like at what point do you have to? Well, maybe not at what point. What are the things that you would start to look at to say like, all right, I have too many. I can't keep up with them all. So what's the thing that makes it most? Like, what am I looking for in what I want to see?
I think it goes back to kind of the point I was trying to make. I didn't make it very clearly, but it's there when you need it, kind of. And then I meant to bring it around to YouTube, but with YouTube, I subscribe. We just checked before we started just to see. I subscribe to 295 YouTube subscribers, but I mean there are some people that I didn't even realize I wasn't subscribed to because I'm always going and checking their channels, and then like I'll be pleasantly surprised to notice that I haven't even been subscribed to this person, but I keep up after them. Because I'm curious about their content. So, and like, I'll be like, I'll click subscribe. But it doesn't matter because I don't always have, there's only like a handful of people that I have push notifications for. Everybody else, like if the feed gives it to me on my homepage, or, every once in a while we get those YouTube emails that say, hey, don't forget about these other channels that you haven't watched in a while. And then I'll go and I'll binge watch 4 or 5 videos from those people. So, I subscribe to, if a fan says to me, hey, I love your stuff, I really, I feel, for me personally, I feel, what is it for me to hit subscribe so that I can see what they do, I'm included in their world for a little bit and vice versa. So I subscribe to anybody, and I never like go back and like clean up because I don't care. I just hit 5,000 or 5,000 fans on Facebook or 5,000 friends. So I let everybody in. It's like if I had a party, everyone can come hang out. I don't care. As long as there's room for everybody. But, and you don't annoy me, I don't care. Come hang out. So when it comes to subscribers and stuff, too much, I'm very, very specific. I mean, I deliberately go and look for things that I want to see. And then when I start fishing and start going down the rabbit hole, that's when I start to kind of catch up on content. I'm looking at my thing now. I see Izzy, Matthias, and Frank Hallworth. I'll go to those guys and I'll watch 4 or 5 videos at a time. Like it doesn't have to remind me to go and watch them. So that's I guess it's just different viewing habits.
Yeah. So for me,
what about you, David? Because you have like
6
way
million,
more, right?
Yeah, I have 694 subscriptions on my YouTube, and so basically I subscribe to everybody who makes something. Anybody that says, "Hey, check out my channel," I subscribe to, because I would produce the show. It was the weekly wrap up, and then it turned into Makers and Shakers, and that's a lot of subscriptions. And so the show takes me a day to film and edit, but that doesn't include the time every morning I spend going through 20 or 30 videos trying to figure out which one makes the show. So I'm skimming through all these shows, and then I'm keeping a list, and then I'm narrowing down the list. And as you guys know, our time is extremely valuable. And I have some sad news to some, but I'm going to be taking a break from Makers and Shakers because it takes so much of my time to go through the videos. It takes so much of my time to narrow it down, to shoot and edit, that I want to focus more on making things and shooting videos of me making things. And I just have too many subscriptions, and it just becomes overload.
Can I make a suggestion?
Please do, as long as it doesn't involve more work for me.
No. It's funny. Tim Sway made fun of me for having interns. It was super funny. Did you guys watch Tim Sway making fun of me having interns?
No.
He hired his mother to be his intern. This was a video from the summertime. But during the summer, I had 2 interns, and having those guys around was incredibly helpful. And so now, I get a lot of people saying, "Hey, can I be your intern?" I say, "Well, instead to come work for free." So I always say, if you want to be my intern, let's see if we can work something out. So this summer I had 2 interns. They happen to be high school students. One went to college in the fall, and the other one went back to high school. If you can get your hands on a couple of competent interns, or a couple, somebody that you really can count on, for ongoing, to filter content and to put together this kind of stuff. I know that you're probably in your head going, "No way, never going to happen." I look at your eyes, you're like, "No way, never going to do it."
I'm
it's
thinking,
something to consider. It's just something to consider. Is that like if you have somebody filtering this content for you, you say, "Look at these," and can pull out, instead of you looking at 35 videos in a morning, he'll say, "Look at these 5. These are the 5 that impressed me the most. I'm 18 years old. These are the things that are lighting my fire." It's just something to consider. That's all.
So, kind of along those same lines, I've been working on. So I have a good friend who is excellent at sitting you down and pulling out the stuff that's in your head, but you don't say out loud or you don't ever write down. And he's done this for me a couple of times, and that's a big part of what led to me making the jump to full time is this guy. And he's actually the same guy I did the Secret Door for.
Yeah.
But anyway, so recently we were talking about how like I'm just so busy and I don't have enough time to do all the stuff that I want to do. And he sat down and pulled a bunch of stuff out of me. And basically we ended up with a list of 5 or 6 things that I do every week that just take my time, but they're not me. They're not things that I personally have to do. And so once I got that list, then, we went through that list and he said, "How much time do you spend a week on number 1, and then on number 2, and then number 3, number 4? So we built that up, and then he said, "Okay, that's 20 hours. That's 20 hours right there. You can hire somebody for 20 hours a week to do all this stuff for you, and you have 20 hours, half of your work week, to do what you want to be doing." Yeah. And this is non-skilled labor. This is not specific, like, I need a writer or a videographer. This is just like, a competent person that I can say, here are the things I need done. Please do them for me. And, paying somebody a reasonable salary for part-time work is not unheard of. I mean, it's not impossible. It's something you have to plan for and work towards. But Jimmy's right. You may want to look at, a free intern or just finding some of the stuff in your schedule that you personally don't have to do and see if you can find somebody else to do it for you.
That, of course, being said, as long as your heart is still in it. If your heart's not in it, then you just got to move on to other things. So, and then the other thing too is you've established something. You've established a legitimate thing on YouTube where people come to you to find new. You've established a resource and sort of a brand. So it's something that obviously it's your life. You could take a break from it, but it's you've established something that's a good resource for a lot of people, and you feel pressure to keep it up. But maybe there's a way to do the same thing without the same pressure. And then you're also giving somebody, a purpose in life to learn.
Yeah, it's something I've been thinking about a lot. Both of you make awesome points. One of the issues, or two of the issues, is one is my wrap-up videos, the Makers and Shakers, gets half the views of a project video. And two, advertisers have no... I've had a couple advertisers, but most of them don't want to be in that video. They want in the project video. So I don't make any money off of that. And so, I know I'm not trying to be greedy, but this is what I do for a living. So I got to try to figure out where to spend my time.
That's why products on the store shelf change, because people don't buy certain products. Yeah. And if that's a product that's not earning you money, you gotta make the best decision.
And so, Jimmy, you're right. I need to look into my heart and see what I really want to do. And right now, I really want to make more project videos. I want to do more teaching, more creating. More of that stuff. So who knows? I'm not making any promises. I'm not saying it's going away forever. I'm not saying it's coming back. I'm just throwing that out there, and here we are. I think I already feel better for saying it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as the stuff I was talking about, though, even as you move into doing more projects, you may find, like I'm finding, that oh, I have to go to the store again to buy screws.
Yeah.
I have to make the website post, which is just a matter of me copying images and formatting them and, that type of stuff. And so even once you get past this, where you are right now, and this goes for anybody, no matter what your job is, you'll find things that you don't necessarily have to do, but they have to be done for you to do your job.
Yeah.
And those are the things that you can compartmentalize and pass off.
I think what a lot of people don't realize what I do and what Bob does, Jimmy might do a little bit different, but when we make a video, now we have a YouTube description to write. I have a full blog post to write. I have to pull still images from the video and put them in the blog. I also write the Patreon description, which I try to make a little bit different. And then,
screw that.
Yeah, and then I write a tweet, Instagram, and a Facebook, and then sometimes I make a second edit of that video just for a Facebook video. So there's a lot of posts that goes with each video. And wow. Bob, what you're talking about is something I hope to get to someday, where I hire somebody to do all this extra work, which somebody might find it fun, but I actually do not find writing the blog stuff that fun, or pulling images and stuff. I would rather work on creating and filming.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's my goal in that same pursuit. There is just to have more time, more shop time. And I just want to be able to make the things, film them, frame the story the way I want to frame it, and then edit some. But I even have really enjoyed having somebody do the majority of the editing, because it's like the grunt work of cutting off, the portion of the video where I'm walking to the camera and from the camera. It's that stuff, being able to walk in and sit down at the computer and all that stuff is gone and there's just action, and I can 10 minutes of tweaking and edit, and then I do my voiceover. It's great. I love that part of it. So
awesome. Yeah.
That's been good.
I've read the Tim Ferriss book. I already know about outsourcing. I just need to a couple more steps before I get to the point where I'm actually paying somebody to do all that grunt work for me.
Yeah. And it's easier said than done, honestly. It's really easy to say theoretically, yeah, I could just pay someone to do that, but you have to pay someone with money, and that money has to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. But, cool. Well, that's, we got off topic there, but that's what we do. One more thing that somebody brought up, which I thought was fantastic, and I think it'd be a good way to wrap up the show. We did a show a couple episodes ago about bad days. And we all had a bad day that day. So let's talk about good days.
Yes.
Good days. What we're happy about, what we're grateful for.
I think most of us have a lot more good days than we have bad days.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
But
sure.
sometimes there's just nothing to talk about when you have a good day. But when you have a bad day, usually there's an incident and it's just easy to talk about. But I like focusing on positive things. It's positive things that got me to where I'm at. So I'm actually excited to talk about good days. And I want to hear what's a good day for you guys.
Well, I can go first. Lately, we've been spending more and more time upstate. By now, typically, I would have closed the house, but because the weather in the Northeast has been so warm, my house is still open, and I've had a couple of really good projects that I could actually execute upstate. Working in the open air and just doing my work. In the bunker video, you see me working on a couple of horses outside, and I love those jobs. I love being able to work outside in the weather, and lately it's a little bit chilly, but obviously not nearly as chilly as you would be in the middle of December. So we're pushing it. We're going to actually have Christmas upstate for the first time in 10 years for me. When I first bought the house, we did Christmas there, and then it's just been too cold. And so now, since this weather break, we're going to try it. And so being able to spend more time upstate, and that's just been, every time we go up there, we don't want to come back to the city. And so that's obviously our goal that I've been talking about, is to get up there and spend more time and build that spot. And by the way, just a little update on that. Drawings are working out. I've been trying to figure out how to raise the money, and there's a couple of little promissory things here and there that look good. So I'm not saying I'm going to have the money tomorrow, but we are going to plan on building at least a foundation in the springtime.
Yes. Awesome.
That's going to be happening. Oh, and then the action figure, or the resin figure update. I'm going to do a video when I have one in hand. I saw the new sculpt and the new thing. It's looking pretty good. So it doesn't look exactly like me, so it's hard for me. Good days are days when things come together. And I got off subject there for a minute, but today was another really good day. Dave and I put this bunker up in the corporate offices for the people that bought it. Always very sketchy. When you're bringing your car out of its parking spot in the Lower East Side to Midtown, you're just guaranteed to not have a good day. But it worked great. It worked really, really, really good. We were able to bring the car uptown, unload it, go park it, did our event, and drove back downtown just in time to do this podcast today. So going upstate and not having your car towed in Midtown, those are two really good days for me.
Let's see. For me, I don't know. I was trying to think of a way to generalize what I think of as a good day. And I think in general, it's progress. And that can mean like a lot of different stuff based on what I'm thinking about. But, if I think about like projects, like there's this thing that's secret that I showed you guys a minute ago that I'm working on. And it's been sitting on my desk in some state or another for about 6 months. And I've always been afraid of like trying to figure out the next thing on it. And in the last week, I've made tons of progress. It's actually happening now. And that makes, at the end of the day, it makes it a lot more rewarding, because I'm like, yes, I'm like gaining ground on this thing. Something is happening. It's closer to the end. It's becoming a real thing rather than just a concept. And that goes for, any project. Before I actually start doing anything and I'm overthinking it like I always do, and it's just like this big block until I really start digging in and making progress. And then once I start making progress, it's like, yeah, all right, cool. Things are moving, And so it's progress for projects, but also in regard to my family. When I look at my kids, kids are like a really strange animal. They just like, they don't know so much about like how they feel or how to react or how to act or how to relate to other people. And so when you see these moments in time of kids like becoming a little bit more mature, or like all of a sudden they know how to do a thing that they didn't know how to do before. I mean, I see that stuff as progress. They're coming into their own. They're becoming more aware and more, considerate and things like that. And so when I see those little moments, everything else can melt away. When I see my kid in the middle of an argument, them stop, and like you can see the thing turning in their head going, wait, I need to calm myself down and deal with this, rather than just like, I'm going to hit you and run away and scream like kids do. You know what I mean? So when you see those little moments, they're changing. And that will make the rest of a day just go away for me. I love that stuff.
I mean, just to get back to, you just reminded me, just the last week when I worked with the students from Mexico for 3 days, it was so rewarding to work with them and then see them go from the beginning of the day to be a little introverted, but by the end of the day, they're like using my bandsaw, they're using the buffing wheel, they're running around asking me for wire. That type of stuff is just amazing. You know, we had 2 really long days, 1 half day, and those really long days were very rewarding by the end of the day, when it all come around and, you know, we all like kind of have the collective conclusion, like, wow, that was a lot to digest, but it was really good. You know, those are definitely some good times.
And I know, like I said, progress, and it's easy to like gauge, you know, like what you're talking about, gauge the day on like the things you see change in people or in a product. But I also have to be really careful with myself not to let progress be the thing that like my happiness or my okayness hinges on, because there's a lot of days where stuff doesn't happen, nothing moves forward, and that I have to remind myself personally that that's okay. Not every day has to be productive, not every moment has to be productive, and sometimes it's like, for instance, you know, I said my wife was out of town this weekend, so my Monday, which is normally a work day for me, was spent while 3 of my kids were at school. The rest of the day was me and my son Flynn. He's almost 3 years old, and we just played all day long. and you know, like I went into it that morning going, man, this is like my work day. I have a lot of stuff I should be doing, but it was the best just to like not be productive and just enjoy him. And so I have to keep that in my mind. Even though that is how I gauge a lot of stuff, I have to remind myself that that's not what it's about.
You have to learn where to find happiness. Like a lot of people find happiness in accomplishing their goals. And I've talked about this before, but if you are only happy when you complete a goal, that happiness is very temporary. You need to find the happiness in the process of that goal. And that process could be anything. It could be just getting a little bit done, getting a lot done, or whatever. Just finding happiness in the little things, and not the end result, is what really counts for me. What really matters.
That's a good point.
And as far as what makes me happy, I think there's 2 things. It's kind of along the same lines as what you were saying, Bob. But one is, if I complete my task list for the day, that feels so good. You know, when it comes time to eat dinner, I'm like, oh, today was a good day. I completed that list. I got done what I wanted to get done. That means I was productive. And another thing that makes me really happy and is a good day is when I have something to show for my day. If I build something and my wife comes home from work, I can show her, I get excited to show her. Or if I finish a project and I can post a picture up on Twitter, or I finished editing a video and I post it up on YouTube, that feels so good. That's always a good day.
You know, that's funny. It reminds me of something. I sometimes have to step back and look at the products that I've created in the last 24 hours, because my list is still not crossed off a lot. I'm like, I got to say to myself, okay, take a minute, look back. You edited these few movies, you created these 3 things, you accomplished these 3 client works. And then I have to sit back and go, okay, I'll take it. Because sometimes I'm too wrapped up in my to-do list and I'm thinking, oh, I didn't get to this today, I didn't get to that. So I have to stop and look at that. So I have to remind myself. So
I'm curious on that. Yeah, that's a really good point, because I was going to say the same thing. Like, I never finish my list. Ever.
Yeah, me too.
So David, when you're making I know you've talked about it before, you make a daily, checklist. Do you have a way that you make that list? Do you make the things that you know you're going to get done? Or is it like, here's all the stuff I would love to do today?
I don't have a scientific method for it, but it's
never mind.
Jimmy, what do you think? No. So it's a checklist, and at the top of the list are the things that need to get done. At the bottom of the list are nice to haves. And there's no line in between. It's just I prioritize that list. And then what I don't get done, and the list is usually bigger than what I'm actually able to get done in a day. And what I don't get done just gets moved to the next day. But when I get to click on that little tick mark, that feels so good to me, and it's very satisfying.
Yeah, makes sense. Maybe maybe my lists aren't prioritized enough. They're just like brain dumps Because I've started doing that as well. Like in the morning, I'll just make a little list, but I feel like I get, half of them done every day. So.
And it's different for everybody. Everybody finds success in their own little ways of doing things.
Yeah. Cool. You guys got anything else about good days?
No, you just got to remember that there's a lot more of them than bad days, though.
That's a good point.
I would like to bring up something. I read in a book a while ago, and I think I've talked about this before, but there was this exercise where you don't complain about anything for 2 weeks. The book is called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. I brought it up before, but I tried this exercise. This was a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And I tried so hard. It's really hard to not complain at all. But it's about removing negativity and only positivity in your life. And so during this 2 week thing, like 3 amazing things happened in my life. And I just feel like I have better days now than I did before I did that exercise. And I'm always looking for the positive in things and trying to remove the negative. And if you can remove negativity from your life, which is really hard, but if you can do that, you're going to have a lot more good days.
I think that's all about focus. I think what you decide you want to focus your attention on is the thing that you're going to pay more attention to. So maybe it's not that negative stuff isn't happening to you, but you're looking at the positive. You're more aware of the good stuff, and you're more aware of the things that that you want to be aware of. And so okay, I had a little car wreck today. I bumped my fender. It's not, whatever. I got to do this awesome thing also. So.
Yeah.
You reminded me of something funny. We were upstate the other day. We were having just a really, really nice day. And I went to pull out of I have this kind of long, windy driveway. And I went to pull out of the driveway, and because it's kind of fall, there's not as many leaves, like kind of peripherally guiding the driveway. So I was also looking at my phone. So all of a sudden I'm in the weeds. and I'm like, the car's making incredibly noisy, and I'm like, oh no, I just drove into a tree. So I sideswiped these heavy bushes, and I went to back out, and I was just more entwined in the bushes, and I finally backed out, and there's a 1 foot long gash on the side of my truck. And Taylor just goes, I'm glad I didn't do that. And I just go, whatever. And I just pulled out of the driveway, and I was just like, if I was in a crummy mood, if some things had been irritating me, that would have been like a temper tantrum. But because we were upstate, it was a beautiful sunny day. I was probably tuning the radio. I forget what I was doing, but as I was pulling out of the driveway, I sideswiped all these weeds. Well, I say weeds, but the trees that are 1 and 2 inches thick. And one of them put a big dent on the side of the car. But I looked back at it and I was like, whatever, there's more important things to be upset about. I could get it fixed.
Yep.
And that gives you a place to mount something really awesome on the side of your truck. Right?
Yeah, another Diresta logo right over it.
No, you need a 50 millimeter something. Some big gun, 50 cal millimeter.
It didn't break the skin, but it's like a big long impression from a piece of cut, 1 inch wide tree branch.
Yeah, you can still put something there.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's wrap up. You guys been watching anything cool? Anything new?
And I'm sorry to go back to drawing and painting, but somebody commented on one of my videos and said, check out this website called controlpaint.com. It's CTRLpaint.com. And holy cow, what a great, amazing free resource on digital painting. I can't believe I didn't know about this site. Lots of free tutorials. This guy, he went to art school, and so he kind of takes that art school approach to his videos, and it's blowing me away, the quality. There's some premium stuff on there too, but there's so many good free tutorials.
Very cool. I just was tipped to this guy. His name is David Richards. And he has a machine shop that's completely powered by steam.
What?
And the care and maintenance that goes into that is incredible. This guy obviously is very meticulous. He loves his machine shop. I've only watched he only has 8 videos. I've only watched a couple of them so far. But you could see what it was like to use a machine shop 100 years ago, before there was fuel. He literally lights a pile of wood to go turn around and use his drill press. It's pretty incredible.
Wow.
So that's definitely something to go take a look at. And I'll just give one more plug because we were just talking about it. My girlfriend started watching this other channel, which is cool if anybody's got young kids. This young actress, singer, songwriter girl named Sarah, Saara. She's incredibly talented, and she's the type of talent. Do you ever meet somebody or see somebody and you say to yourself, how come that person isn't up for an Oscar? And it's just a matter of time, or it just goes to show you how in this world, light shines on some people, and some others get just the peripheral of that light. This young girl is just super talented in a comedic singer, songwriter, funny way. So check her out too.
Cool,
awesome. So I haven't actually watched this guy's videos in a while because he doesn't put them out very often. But I was looking through my subscriptions because we were talking about it, and I was reminded on how funny he is. You guys ever heard of Julian Smith?
I don't think so.
So he is YouTube old guard. He's been around for a really long time. And in fact, for a couple of years, he just stopped making videos because I think he was doing corporate work or something. But he has these crazy, they're just half of them are comedy, half of them are just weird. A lot of them are based on songs. He'll write the song and then it'll be a comedic video around them. And you should just really check him out. Specifically, I'll give you a few to make sure that you look up. One, he has a drum beat thing that he made on a Jeep Cherokee, and it's 10 people beating on this Jeep Cherokee, slamming the doors, opening the windows, pressing the buttons, doing all this stuff, and they make this crazy beat and they record it all. It's really cool. He has a comedy one called Milk, which is bizarre and really funny, and it's something we always show new people when we meet them. When they come over to the house or something, we're you gotta watch this video. So those are two definitely good ones to check out. The comedy is really bizarre. Some people may not find it funny, but it's good stuff. So check out Julian Smith.
Right on.
Looking at it now.
So that'll probably do it for us this week. I want to thank everybody from Patreon, as always. You guys are awesome. Continue to be awesome. And especially Nicholas Gomez, Luis Gonzalez, Chris Kopp, and Jeremy White. Those are our top guys. Those guys have been supporting us a lot for a really long time. And I know we say it every week that we thank the Patreon people, but we mean it. It's awesome. Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What is the top tier of our Patreon award? That's the hangout with us, right?
Yeah.
And it's always fun every time we do it.
Yeah, we get to. So if anybody doesn't know that, we do a Skype hangout after we record once a month with the people at the top tier. Yeah, and it's great. We've gotten to know these people and hang out with them, and yeah, good stuff. And they're good people. So we're grateful for that. If you want to support there at any level, patreon.com/makingit, or you could just share the show around. That helps quite a bit as well. If you have show ideas, we've had a lot of questions for people lately, and it's given us a lot to talk about, and it's great. So if you have more of those and you want to send them, you can tweet them at Making It Podcast. That would be cool. And I guess that'll do it for us this week, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Awesome. Go see Star Wars.
Hold on, I'm writing this down. Star what?
Star Wars.
Jimmy just watched the trailer.
Somebody asked today if we could start doing a weekly segment of Jimmy asking questions about Star Wars.
Yeah. I'll have some questions next week.
After you watch the trailer as the movie several times.
Yeah, Star Wars, right?
Star Wars, yeah.
Star Wars.
Yep, that's it.
That's just the movie about George Bush.
Getting Star Wars is the hardest part.
All right, that's it for episode 50. Hope it was worthwhile to be.
Thank you all for listening this long. Appreciate it.
It was fun.
We'll see you guys next week.
Later.
Peace.
Later.